Have you ever caught yourself overthinking what your friends, family, or even strangers on social media might think of you? Maybe you hesitate to post a photo or overthink a text because you're worried about how the person reading it might react. We all do it sometimes, right? This desire to fit in and be liked is natural and completely human. But understanding why we care so much can actually help us give other people's opinions a little less power. So let's dive into the psychology of why we care too much about what others think. 1. The need to belong. Belonging to a group was literally a survival strategy. For our ancestors, it meant sharing food, hunting together, and protecting each other from predators. Psychologists Roy Baumeister and Mark Leary call the need to belong a basic human drive, as fundamental as our need for food or shelter. In ancient times, being accepted by the tribe meant safety and shared resources, whereas being rejected could mean isolation or even death. In other words, our brains are wired to seek approval and connection. And this hardwiring makes social approval feel good and social rejection feel bad. So when you worry about fitting in, that's just your brain doing its job to keep you in the group and safe. 2. Social comparison. We naturally compare ourselves to the people around us. This is called social comparison. Psychologist Leon Festinger proposed that we have an innate drive to evaluate our abilities and opinions by comparing ourselves to others. For example, if you see a classmate praised for a project, you might wonder why you didn't get the same praise. And if a friend criticizes your idea, you may start questioning yourself more. So these comparisons act like a mirror. We look at others to understand who we are. But the problem is that mirror is often distorted. The more you depend on it, the less clearly you see your real self. 3. Childhood attachment patterns. Our early experiences strongly impact how we care about others' opinions. Think back to your childhood. If approval and love were inconsistent, you might have learned to cling to them. Therapist K.T. Gillis explains that a child who fears losing a caregiver's affection often grows up convinced their worth depends on being liked. And in psychology, this is called an anxious attachment style. Studies show that people with this anxiety literally feel more brain pain when they sense rejection. So if you grew up constantly fearing loss of approval, your brain learned to be extra sensitive to what people think. So next time you catch yourself worrying about what someone might think, stop for a second and ask yourself, am I doing this because it feels right to me or because I want someone's approval? Benjamin Franklin once said, "It is the eye of other people that ruin us." He explained that if he were blind, he wouldn't care about fine clothes, fine houses, or fine furniture. In other words, most of your worry comes from seeing yourself through someone else's eyes. Remember that true freedom doesn't come from being liked by everyone. It comes from being at peace with yourself. When you begin to turn down the volume on outside opinions and listen to your own voice, you stop living the life that others admire, and you start living the life that you admire. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe, because on this channel, we explore interesting topics and ideas that teach you, inspire you, and help you grow better every day.